Hello everyone and welcome to today's session on batch reporting within your Sage 50 Accounts software. My name is Abby and I'm going to be your host for today's session. The session is going to last approximately 20 minutes, give or take, depending on if you have any questions outstanding at the end. So it's quite a small session today. Just a reminder, just like every session, you will receive a link to the recording of this session in your follow-up email as well. And you usually receive that email around an hour after the session has ended. Now it is just myself on today, so I'm hosting as well as answering any questions. So please do bear with me on that front as well. Now, if you want to ask any questions, now if you've attended webinars before, you'll know that your microphone will be muted automatically. If you want to ask any questions, you can use the little icon that looks like a question mark inside the speech bubble. That'll open up the questions panel for you, so you can send your questions across to me. If you wish to download a copy of the handout today, you can use the icon just below the little speech bubble icon, and it's just the one that looks like a little document with a folded corner. And that allows you to download the handout there, and I have included a printer-friendly handout in there for you. So I know some of you like to print out those handouts and make notes and things like that. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll get started. So this is what we're going to be covering on today's session. So we're going to start by introducing the batch reporting feature, which will then lead into demonstration on how to create new batch reports, edit them, delete them, and how you can run the batch reports as well. And then towards the end, we'll come back to the slides to summarize the session. If you want to join in the steps as I'm doing them on the demonstration today, I am going to be doing it in demonstration data. You all have access to that in your software. And I'll show you how to access that when we go into the demonstration. Like I say, don't feel like you need to wait till the very end to ask your questions. Do pop them throughout the session and I'll try and pick them up as I go along. Okay, so a batch report is a collection of individual reports that can be viewed, printed, emailed or exported together. You will find it by going to Tools along the top in your software and then into the option that says Batch Reporting. Now this is only available if you have the variant Standard or Professional. So it's in both of those, but it's not in Essentials. It gives the ability to regularly produce the same reports, and it saves you time by being able to run a group of reports in one go rather than having to navigate to various modules throughout the software. And it will appear across all companies if you are not using DataPath for reports. Like I say, you can find out more information in terms of that setting as well. And it will be applied to all users. But what we'll do is we'll go straight into the demonstration. So let me just pop over to my software. Okay, so if you want to go along with the demonstration today, if you're already logged into your company, you can just go to File, Open, and then you'll see the option for Open Demo Data. So you can come into your demo data and you can follow along with me as well. And that's why it's called Stationary Computer Mart. That's how I know I'm in my demo data. You can also do this in your live company as well if you wish. Okay, so I'll show you where you find that option. So as I mentioned just before on the slides, if you go to Tools along the top, and then if you go into Batch Reporting, you should see this option here. So I'll click on that option and it'll bring up this normal report window that you're probably used to seeing when you're running your reports. Now I don't have any favorites saved at the moment, but I'll show you that in a moment. But we're just going to pop into Batch Reports down the left-hand side. And you do have some examples that already exist that come as default with your software. So we've got like a trial balance, like your management reports essentially. You've got that one there. You've got a purchase order list and status, and then you've got a sales order list and status as well. So what we'll do is we'll just run one of these examples. So we'll just run the sales order list and status batch. So we're going to highlight it exactly how you may do it when you run your normal reports, and we'll just click preview. It's going to bring up the criteria window. Now this criteria is combined based on the reports that are included in the batch. So we're just going to leave the options as they are. I'm not going to change dates or anything like that. So I'm just going to click OK. And it just brings up the normal report window. But what is slightly different is you'll see you've got two tabs along the top for the two different reports that are included in the batch. So we've got the sales order list, and then we've got the sales order status report. Now, just like when you run your normal reports, you've got your print, email, export options, report to Excel, data to Excel as well. What you can do is, if you click there's a tiny little arrow to the very right, if you click on that drop down arrow, it can just print the current report that you're in. You want to print them all as a single job. So that would be where it's all on one in one go, or just print as all as individual jobs. And that's kind of the same with when it comes to email as well. So do you want to email just this sales order list, or do you want to email them both, but as one? So it might go as one PDF, and then we just have to scroll through. So you've got those options as well, same as export as well. So you've still got those options of, but you want to run them all at one time, but you might just want to export one of those. So we'll just close that down. And what we'll do is I'll show you how to create a new batch. So if you click on new in the top left-hand corner, you're going to see this window here. I'm going to give it a name. So let's just say we're going to do management reports. What we'll do is we'll call this year end. So I'm going to do my year end batch. So then when I come to do my year end, and I need to run my reports before I run the process, I can come in and run my batch for year end, and it will run all the relevant reports I need to run. So we'll call it year end. So in the description, it's entirely up to you what you want to pop in here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop in what reports I'm going to be including. So trial balance, balance sheet, profit and loss. I'm also going to include my age debtors and creditors. So I know what reports are going to be included in there. And then what you need to do then is then go and find those reports, because what you want to do is you want to find them on the left hand side, and then you'll the ones that you want to include in the batch will show on the right once you've selected them. So we'll pop into reports. We'll go to suppliers first. We'll do the, actually what we'll do is we'll do the nominals. So we'll go into nominal codes. And we'll get so we'll do it in order. So we'll do the trial balance first. So we'll do the period trial balance. So you can either double click, or you can use these options along the top when you've highlighted one. So if I'll add in the balance sheet, I can click add along the top, or let's just add in the profit and loss. I'm not sure if you can drag them. Yeah, so it's just either, like you say, double click, or you can use the add along the top. So I'll just double click and I'll add in the profit and loss there. Now we'll go to my suppliers and debtors. So we'll go to customers, age debtors reports, and we'll just add in a summary one for now. And then I'll add in my supplier, so my age creditors report. And again, we'll just do the summary. Now the order that you add them in the list is the order they're going to show when you preview them. So when you see that little tabs that we had along the top, So the order that they appear here is the order that will appear when you preview those reports. You can move them up and down the list. So it might be I actually want my profit and loss first. So you can actually just use the move up and move down to move it in the order that you want them to appear. Once you're happy with the reports that you've added, simply click Save in the bottom right. It's going to get us to do name the file. So we'll just call this year-end report. And then once you've clicked Save, you'll see now I've got that batch called year-end. You can then add that to your favorites. So then when you come into the batch reporting, you can see it appears in your favorites here. But another really useful tip as well is when we come out of here, and along the top you've got favorites. Anything you favorite in terms of a report will appear along the top. So if you go, right, okay, I'm ready to do year end, I need to run my reports. You don't need to go to tools, batch reporting, find it in there. Simply favorites, year end. It's going to give us the combined criteria. We'll click OK. And you can see it's now running those reports for me. So it's done the period trial balance, it's done the balance sheet, the profit and loss, the age debtors, and the age creditors. Again, as I've mentioned before, you've got the option to print them all, print selected ones. If you need to, like you say, if you want to select print, export or print or email a specific one, you need to be in that tab to be able to do that. So you just export the current report, pop it on my desktop, and then it'll save that just that one report. If you wish to edit a batch, so we'll pop it back into the batch reporting area. So tools, batch reporting, and we want to say, for example, edit this one. Might be that you want to remove a report or add another report. You can simply click, highlight the relevant one, click edit, and it just brings you back to this window. And this is where you can add in extra reports, or if you want to remove, highlight the relevant one and then just click remove there. What you can also do as well is if you want to create another batch, and maybe you've got a batch that already exists, and you want to use some of the reports that are already in there, and start as that as a basis, and then add other reports if need to. What you can do is you can like you say, edit the one that you want to start off with, change the name. So you might want to have year end and then plus nominal activity. So we'll just edit this description. So we'll go and find the nominal activity report. And then instead of clicking save, what we're actually going to do is we're going to click save as. So that's going to create a copy. So year end reports, including nominal. So we'll just call that, that's that file name. So it's different to the original. So we'll click save. And then you can see there, year end plus nominal activity is then there as well. So it saves you having to create a new batch, going and finding all the reports that are already in there. You can start as a basis using a different batch, but just remembering to click save as rather than save. Then again, pops in your favorites. And then if we pop into here as well, you'll see it also appears in the favorites along the top. If you wish to delete a batch no longer needed, it's very simple, a case of just highlighting the relevant one and then just clicking delete. We'll get a little message, are you sure? Simply click yes, and it removes it from the list. So that is the batch reporting feature. So if you were to run the reports for year end, you would need to run 5 reports. So that would be a case of, you come into your customers. You would then have to run reports, many clicks. You then have to go into your suppliers, find the age creditors report. You'd then have to come into nominal codes. Then you'd have to run your trial balance, your profit and loss, your balance sheet, all individually as well. So the beauty of this option is it's as simple as favorites, year end, 3 clicks. That's all it takes. And then you've got all of those reports running for you. So imagine how much time that can actually save you, being able to get all of that relevant information within 3 clicks. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop back to my slides and we'll summarize the session. Again, it wasn't going to be a very long session because it is a very small but very useful feature. If you do have any questions, do pop them across to me and I'll pick them up if I can. Okay, so again, if you do have any questions and you're not sure how to ask a question, it's just a little speech bubble with the question mark in the middle. You can send your questions across to me. Just while waiting for any further questions to come through, just want to mention the webinar that we're doing at the moment is getting started with Copilot and Sage 50 accounts. So some of you may have heard of this already, some of you may not have heard of it, but we are currently doing demonstrations and learn how to use Sage Copilot. So that's all about managing debt, stock, monitoring business performance, improving data accuracy, and also report analysis as well. If you have the handout downloaded, that register now button is available for you to click on. It is also going to be included in your follow-up email. Alternatively, on the Help Centre, we have got a Sage Copilot hub, but we've also got the webinars as well. So if we pop into webinars along the top, and we've got the session here as well, so where you can get started and you can get registered here. Really good questions just coming there from Dawn. Missed the start of the webinar. Will the recording be emailed? So yes, that is correct. So you will receive a link to the recording in your follow-up email. Alternatively, we do have view previous recordings as well. So if you do find that if you ever do miss the beginning and you don't want to wait until that follow-up email is available to watch the recording, you can pop to sage.co.uk/webinars and you can see we've got previous recordings and we've got loads of different sessions on here. So if you haven't had a chance to catch the live session, we have all of our recorded sessions available on this page here. So the batch reporting is already on here as well. So you can catch that if you want to catch that straight away after the session has ended. Okay, so that does bring us to the end of today's session. Please feel free to stay around if you do have any further questions to ask. But if you've got what you need today and you want to leave the session, you will receive an email in around an hour or so with links to both our webinar schedule and today's recorded session for you to refer back to if needs be. Upon exiting the session, you will see a survey at the end. If you could please let me know any feedback on today's session, what you liked, what you would have liked to have seen, what I could have done better. I do like to read every single comment on our survey, so please, if you could, that would be really appreciated. Okay, so no questions have come through, so hopefully I've done my job there. So I'll wrap this session up. I want to say thank you to you all for your participation today. And just a reminder, we've got plenty of sessions over the next couple of weeks, so don't be shy and get registered. So I want to say another thank you and take care.